Here's a couple of sneaky ways to get an armbar. One of my favorite initial attacks, they're called urigatami, where we try, it's almost like an inverted armbar, you're like crushing the arm. Okay, so we're here, our feet are either on the hips, I like to put my foot over the back, and now look, I've created a space between his arm and the ground, and I'm basically gonna try to point my elbow at his head, and I'm gonna put pressure downward on the elbow. Let's just do it from a butterfly for a second. I'll come in, maybe get a shoulder clamp, right, get a nice connection on his shoulder, and I'm gonna start using my falling body weight to bring him up and off his heels. What I'll do now is put my feet on his hips to help me try to extend his elbow away from his ribs. I'm also gonna turn to my side, and that way I get some rotation here and be able to create that little gap where I can start putting pressure on my partner's elbow. Now I'm gonna wanna hug and isolate his wrist. Look at how his thumb is pointed down almost. I wanna go ahead and pinch my ear to my shoulder, and I'm gonna go ahead and point my top elbow at his head, and I'm gonna go hand over elbow. It's gonna put a lot of pressure. Now also my feet, I can be on the hips and hugging here and putting my knee pressure to assist me, or I can take my foot and take it over his shoulder, and then now what I'll do is I'll move my hips away slightly and start putting pressure on my partner's arm, and that's gonna really put that braking pressure on. Now, this technique, because we're not so connected to our partner, there are some avenues of escape, and one way that he might escape is taking his hand over my head. Just like this, boom. But that's okay, I hit a second sneaky armbar. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go elbow to elbow, and I'm gonna go and turn and belly down. As I belly down, I'm gonna take my shin on the back of his head and force a roll. As I do this, I'm gonna reach for his leg, and I'm gonna try to control him to the mat. And now, we're in a classic urigatami, okay, where I can now start putting pressure on my partner's elbow and getting that finish. Those are 2 sneaky arm bars you can try in class. Comment and let me know how it's going.